Thank you very much, Lani, and good morning, everybody. I speak on behalf of Public Services International, which is a global trade union federation representing 20 million working women and men who deliver vital public services in 150 countries. As part of the major group of workers in trade unions, we work in coalition with the International Trade Union Confederation and our sister global union, Education International. I want to thank the UN-NGLS and UN-DESA, as well as the Steering Committee, for giving us the opportunity to speak at this multi-stakeholder forum and for all the work that they've put into putting together this program. With regard to the priorities of the Workers in Trade Union Major Group, the synthesis report is neither a great achievement nor a major disappointment. The report makes at least reference to nearly all of the priorities of the workers in trade union movement: decent work, social protection, quality education, human and workers' rights, and co-labor standards, though not always in the most convincing or accurate manner. Positively, the report makes a strong case for the ILO as the key UN agency in the implementation of the post-2015 agenda. But of course, there are a few concerns to flag. In particular, the report makes constant and deliberate use of the term decent jobs in place of decent work, as Alejandro already mentioned. The implication is that the synthesis report fails to recognize the totality of the decent work agenda and its 4 pillars: job creation, workers' rights, social protection, and social dialogue. The term decent work is specific, intergovernmentally agreed and supported by a rights-based agenda. Only once does the phrase decent work appear in the synthesis report, and only in reference to youth employment, which of course we support, but we do not want to limit this concept to young workers. On social protection, the report remains rather vague and contains no reference to social protection floors as defined in the Bachelet report and the ILO recommendation 202 that sets an international standard to be applied at national level. Nor does it address the importance of the need for well-funded public health systems that ensure universal access. It is important that the report acknowledges inequality and income inequality in particular. And of course, as trade unions, we think about wages in the first place when we think of inequalities. But it offers little else beyond this general acknowledgement and the need to accommodate a list of often discriminated and excluded groups, which is unfortunately rather lengthy. This could have been a very appropriate moment to emphasize the indispensable role of labour market institutions and in terms of playing in combating income inequality, and it fails to do so. Minimum wages, collective bargaining, strong and independent trade unions, and other employment protections are critical for ensuring more equal society and should have been promoted by the synthesis report, especially given the deliberate efforts by governments in many parts of the world to dismantle them. Inclusive growth does not happen without strong and functioning labour market institutions. Of course, we welcome the report's leave no behind approach and emphasize the importance of ensuring a specific goal on gender and mainstreaming a focus on gender equality across all goals and targets. And we support in particular the reference to equal pay for work of equal value. But the new framework was also address the complex intersection and the links between gender and other inequalities, including social economic status, for example, to ensure that most vulnerable children are not excluded from quality education. And we need to address the issue of unpaid care work, which some of my colleagues already mentioned earlier today. We welcome the recognition of the right to education and to safe learning environments, as both as far from ensured today and indeed central to sustainable development. But we do think it's important to raise the fact that the synthesis report goes back in terms of recognizing the importance of only primary education and not primary and secondary education, free and quality education for all boys and girls. We are concerned that universal access to quality public services, such as health, water, energy and sanitation, is not addressed sufficiently by the report, which are so fundamental to building just and equitable societies. Market mechanisms have their place, but they've proven incapable of ensuring universal access, especially in countries where there's not enough wealth to provide the risk-adjusted terms of return of private corporations. However, we see a massive private sector interest lobby at work, both in countries and in the UN. This lobby has identified public services as a next big target for profit maximization. We have to point out that the vast majority of privatizations and private-public partnerships do not deliver, especially not for the poor. And we need to refer to the positive experiences of public-public partnerships in this respect. We want to see a stronger commitment to the delivery of public services, which is lacking overall in this process. Allow me to conclude that these negotiations are taking place in parallel with trade and investment agreement negotiations that grant excessive protection mechanisms to investors, including through IDSS, investor-state dispute settlements, which severely limit the policy options of governments. We do hope that the post-2015 development agenda will provide a framework for the whole world beyond these trade interests and create a new paradigm that applies to developed and developing nations alike. Thank you.